morning, readers. It's Lori. Welcome back to my channel. I think I've been gone a little bit. Uh, so I think I didn't post any videos last week, and that may happen more frequently, or I may end up getting down to one video a week. I'm not sure. This is a busy time of year for me, not just because of the holidays. A lot of people I know, this is a busy time for all of us, but I also do my business planning for the next year. I have my own business as a coach, and I do some really, extensive business planning and reflection and preparing for the new year during this time. And then, we just have the holidays, and I have some deadlines coming up in January that I'm really focusing on right now too. So there's a lot happening, and reading is happening, although a little bit slower this month. This is going to be kind of a mid-month check-in chat. I thought I would go over a couple of things with you. I've read 2 books so far this month. This is about mid-November. I'm not going to tell you which ones. I'm going to wait for the wrap up for that, but I have completed 2 books so far, and I liked both of them very much. I am also still reading The Passage by Justin Cronin. I'm over 300 pages in, although this is a beast, so that's not probably even halfway at this point. I'm listening to it as well as reading it on ebook. My audio copy came from my library, so that will expire soon, I think in a couple days. I'm enjoying it. I'm not loving it. It's a little dense for me, and it's a little slow, and not quite as creepy as I had anticipated that it would be, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick with it. I had a similar experience with The Stand last month, but I think I'm going to go for the whole thing here. I'm also just reminding myself, as I often have to do this time of year, that there's no prize at the end of the month for me except the enjoyment of what I've accomplished and read. There's no pressure, there's no book police that are going to come and say, gosh, why didn't you finish those 4 books you put on your TBR? It just is what it is. And then I have also been simultaneously reading this for Nonfiction November, Margaret Macmillan's Where the Angels Lived. Let me put down my coffee because I'm holding it here oddly. And I do have a Christmas cheer mug I got the other day from Joanne Fabrics. They had some cute ones, and so I picked up 2. Yeah, so Where the Angels Lived, I am 110 of, let's take out the after notes, of 259. So also not quite halfway through. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. It is a delightful memoir, and it reminds me of my time in Budapest. And also, when I lived in Budapest, it was, and she's not in that city, but she's in Hungary. When I lived there, it was a communist country still. So I thought some of the things that were happening were because it was a communist country, but perhaps it's just because that's sort of the way the Hungarians are. And so that's fun to read. So it's really a very satisfying memoir for me, and both the reconnection to Hungary and the connection to her uncle Richard and what happened to him there is really great, and I love it. And it's funny and real and vulnerable and historically profound, and I'm really happy with it. And then, oh, I left it over here. Hold on. I was not so prepared for this today because I just realized I had a minute, more than a minute, but I had some time and I hadn't filmed. I didn't get to film this weekend because we were out car shopping. Yeah. And then we got some Christmas shopping done and picked up some stuff and just did some stuff around the house and had some creative time with my friends on Friday night. So I just had a lot going on. I also started, because I always keep a book by my where I journal in the morning on this couch behind me. I journal 3 pages every morning, morning pages, have done forever. And then I have my coffee and my breakfast, and I read for just a few minutes, which is why some books that I read take months for me to finish, because I just read a little bit every morning in that particular book. So the morning read right now is this one, A Merry, Very Victorian Christmas by Janet Emily Demarest. And this is one of my nonfiction November stack books. I have finished one nonfiction November already that was not on my stack that I shared, my TBR, because it was one that I started in September and read every morning until I completed it the other day. So I have completed nonfiction November in case the book police do come by. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to get to this. At least my hope is by the end of December. But it's also recipes, and it's really big print, some illustrations, which I adore. It's cute and nice, and it really does tell the story of a lot of things. Recipes, the origins of Christmas, the way that people celebrated, the history around Christmas carols and when they were published, and the White House decor and different things like that, and other traditions during that time. It's fun. I like it. I'm happy with it. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about today is I got this in the mail yesterday, which is my holiday guide from my favorite bookstore. I don't know if you can see how pretty that is. Square Books. That is the front of Square Books in Oxford, Mississippi. It's my favorite bookstore in Mississippi. Let's just say that. So this is a great thing. If you don't get one of these from an independent bookseller, I really highly suggest that you sign up to do so, even if you don't have an independent bookseller in your state for some reason, which I can't imagine, but it's possible, I guess. Sign up for one randomly wherever it is that you would like to do that. And I think they're probably all the same. I think that every bookseller probably uses the same company that puts these out, but then they personalize them. I don't know, but this is just, I look forward to it every year. So let's go through it a little bit and talk about what I want to read in 2020. And some of these things are authors that I already have enjoyed. So that's going to be great. And some of them I've heard some buzz about recently. So for example, The Wonder Boy of Whistle Stop by Fannie Flagg, I have heard is fantastic. It's a sequel to the fried green tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, I think. So that is fun. And I didn't know that that was coming out. Ready Player Two, I think I've talked about before, by Ernest Cline. That's a must. You can also get signed first editions from several booksellers, and that's always fun if that's something that you love. And I do. Sometimes I really, it has to really be somebody like, oh, before I do it. But this one, oh my gosh, Moonflower Murders by Anthony Horowitz. Can you see that? I loved the Magpie Murders so much. I cannot wait till that comes out. I had no idea that that was coming. I haven't really been looking at all at new releases and lists of new releases. This is an interesting title, which may pull me in. How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America. 6 essays new to this edition include an interview with his mother to reflections on Ole Miss football, Outcast, the singer, and the labor of Black women, by Kies Lemon, I think. I have never heard of that, but he's the award-winning author of Heavy. That intrigues me. Cast, The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson. So here's the one I just talked about. That's what it looks like if you're looking. Cast. A couple of friends of mine have read this and adored it and thought it was a really seminal piece to take a look at. So that's on my list for sure. History. Oh, goodness. The Best Presidential Writing by Craig Fairman. Oh, the glare. There we go. Sun out today. Cold, but sunny. That might be fun. A treasury of presidential writings compiles a mix of the wildly beloved and the freshly rediscovered, a must-have for every serious library. Do I have a serious library? I'd like to think so. The Patriots, Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and the Making of America by the University of Chicago Press, published by them and by Winston Groom. So that, let me do this, is what that looks like. That would be interesting to me. Some gifts for book nerds, which I'm actually going to do a video on holiday gifts soon, so stay tuned for that. Psychology and science, nothing really pulling me there. Nature. I wish I could say those are pulling me. Oh, here's one. Ghostways, Two Journeys in Unquiet Places by Robert McFarlane, Stanley Donwood, and Dan Richards. A haunting, alluring diptych of prose poem works inspired by McFarlane's travels with celebrated collaborators to two eerie corners of England. Okay, maybe Ghostways. Maybe that might get a check mark by it. Animals. There's a puzzle. Birds. I love birds. There's a nice bird puzzle. Some more Square Books related gifts. You can't see that, but they have their own iconic stuff. I've never bought a mug that says Square Books. Maybe I should next time we go up that way. Love Kurt, the Vonnegut Love Letters by Kurt Vonnegut and Edith Vonnegut. That would be lovely. I love reading love letters. One Writer's Beginnings by Eudora Welty with a foreword by Natasha Trethewey. Part memoir, part exploration of creativity. A distillation of a writer's beginnings offers a rare glimpse into the Mississippi childhood that made Eudora Welty the writer she would become. Maybe. Oh, A Promised Land by Barack Obama. So all three of these are on the top. Here's Love Kurt, here's the Eudora Welty, and here's the new Obama release. I am definitely anticipating that. I saw an interview with him the other day on 60 Minutes talking about it. And the presidential library that he's building in Chicago, which I love presidential libraries. The Book of Me, a do-it-yourself memoir. How fun. I think that would be wonderful. Preserve your memories of the past, present, and thoughts for the future. My mom did something like that, which I still have. And it's really very lovely because she did sort of tell the story of her life at some point in multiple sort of versions of it. Not that they were different, but I mean, I have several books in which she did that. And that was really, really fun to find after she was gone. All I want for Christmas is books, a tote bag. That's adorable. I might use that, spoiler alert, for a holiday gift idea. So you can see these aren't all fiction. Photography, Southern Studies, poetry. Nikki Giovanni, Margaret Atwood, and Alice Quinn. Great poets to take a look at. I don't know if I'll add poetry pieces to my library. I am really being mindful of the space on my shelves. The guy who built my shelves came over the other day with his wife because we have some damage after Hurricane Zeta that we're having him give us an estimate on. And it's all external, nothing that we can't live with for a bit, but we need a new fence. So he came the other day and he brought her and he came in and looked and he said, wow, you really filled those shelves quickly. And I said, oh yeah, there was never any question that was going to happen, right? Bad Habits by Jen Sincero. I didn't love her How to Be a Badass with Money, so I probably would not get that. Practicing Forgiveness. Promote self-healing and either reestablish broken relationships or move forward when reconciliation isn't the best option. That's an important read by Richard Balkin. You can see that here. think that one's signed actually, so that's nice. Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May, a moving personal narrative filled with lessons from literature, mythology, and nature. May's story offers instruction on the transformative power of rest and retreat. Yes. Now, some of these I would also circle and look for on Scribd or Libro.fm because I may not want them in, physical form or to keep forever, but just to listen to. So that's an option. Dolly Parton, Songteller, My Life in Lyrics. I did hear that she had a new book out, exploring the songs that have defined her journey. What's cooler than Dolly for Christmas? The synopsis says there's another Dolly book two, She Come By It Natural, Dolly Parton and the Women Who Lived Her Songs. Let's see. Oh, this would be a nice coffee table buy for someone. Sitting in Jazz Clubs of the 1940s and 1950s by Jeff Gold. Let's see what it looks like there. This collection of photographs, memorabilia, and interviews brings to life the renowned jazz clubs of the 1940s and 50s, telling the story of an era that helped transform American life. Love that. $39.99. You know, coffee table books are pricey, but so worth it. Julia Child, People Who Love to Eat Are Always the Best People, and Other Wisdom. There's a book by Ree Drummond, who I don't watch, The Pioneer Woman, but I know a lot of people love her. These are obviously related to food and spirits. The Terror of Whiskey, which is a memoir, a terroir, I guess that's how it would be pronounced, of whiskey. That might be fun for somebody in my family who will not be watching this video. So that's good news. He loves whiskey. A Good Meal is Hard to Find journal. Original art, quirky notes and notions, and plenty of space to fill with your own journey or own story. Trivia questions for cocktail nerds. Ramen Fury, the Use Your Noodle card game. Wow. Okay. Rare books. Wow. Oh, you guys. Okay. Rare books. The Hamlet by William Faulkner. It's an original first printing for $700. If you're interested, contact Square Books in Oxford, Mississippi. The Crossing by Cormac McCarthy, a big piece, first printing, especially prepared for friends of the author and publisher. One of 1,000 copies of The Crossing is $900. That is fascinating. A book by Helen Keller, published by Doubleday in 1941, called Let Us Have Faith, signed edition, $650. This is for those of you who have lots of extra cash and want to really give an important gift. The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, which I recently talked about in another video and I have on a paperback version, is actually $500 for the first printing of this collection. Signed by the author. Forrest Gump by Winston Groom, published in 94, signed first edition. Signed at Square Books when he visited in 1994, $250. Homecomings by William Morris and William Dunlap, limited edition by the author and the artist, signed number 46 of 200 copies. A book about Mississippi by two homesick Mississippians. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it is quite lovely. And it includes his Morris's story, My Two Oxfords, which is a seminal piece of work too. So that one is $250. It was published in 1989. And The End of the Affair by Graham Greene, a beautiful copy of this novel. first edition 75, also have a first UK edition for 125. So there is some beautiful, beautiful stuff right there. Super, super neat things. And then there's some children's books as well in all of these. Always, I'll take a look at that another time because I am looking for some books for my kiddos. DIY cookbook for young chefs. That might be fun. So, and then there's some young adult at the end. So let's look at that. If there's anything that really stands out to me. Agnes at the End of the World. My dog's name is Agnes. A genre-defying novel about a girl who escapes a terrifying cult only to discover that the world outside has succumbed to a viral apocalypse. Okay, yes, that's certainly a possibility for me. And The Cousins by Karen McManus. When three cousins arrive to work on their rich and reclusive grandmother's island resort, they soon realize how mysterious their family's past is. My bookstore also has a teens first. Oh, so here's The Cousins and here's Agnes at the End of the World. And then we have a teens first edition subscription plan too. So if you have a teenager in your life that loves rare books or loves first editions of books, you could look at your bookstore to see if they offer that too. My bookstore, this particular one, mails them to you, your first editions. If you subscribe, you get to choose if you want one each month. And I've gotten a couple from them and they're always fantastic. I think I got the Dutch House. No, I didn't. I got the Dutch House from Megan. I got something from them not long ago. And I feel like it was an Ann Patchett, but I don't know. I don't know. Who can know? COVID brain. Okay, I hope this was fun for you and just a little bit of a check-in. Like I said, we are trying to ramp up the decorations. Lisa's had art market in October, November, and again, she'll have it in December. So we've been working on that on the weekend that occurs, of course. And gosh, my hair today, I need to have my hair colored. What else is going on in my life? We're getting some Christmas decor out and put out a little bit, starting to listen to Christmas music already, which is early for me, but I feel like it's important. Getting ready to celebrate my grandson's first birthday. We're going to celebrate it early because he was born on Christmas Eve and we want him to have a lovely celebration outside of that festivity. So we're going to celebrate the first part of the month. What else do I know? Doing some handmade gift making because that's always something I enjoy. And looking at what to get those that I love and my clients and others for Christmas is always a fun thing for me to do. And so that's why I love these little holiday guides. We've gotten so many catalogs in the mail this year. And so we have them all stacked and ready to look at. And it's just so much fun. It reminds me of when I was little, seriously. Some of you maybe did this too. If you're of a certain age, the Sears catalog would come and we would pour through the Sears catalog and I would make lists of all the things that I wanted. And I think we got another catalog too, but the Sears catalog is the one I remember the most, probably because I lived in Chicago. And so I just remember laying on the floor in the basement, watching TV or having TV in the background and laying on my stomach with my, with my head propped up and looking at this catalog. It was just the best. And I don't know that my kids and grandkids have had that same experience, but we have a stack of catalogs and I am excited to go through those too. But my favorite is the one that I get from my bookseller. So I hope this was fun for you today. Just kind of a check-in, random kind of a thing that I've not done a lot of. I usually plan my videos pretty far in advance, but again, the planning for me, the time to be able to do that has been a little bit limited. And I'm going to hang with it. I'm going to hang with this as long as I can hang with it. There are days that I worry that I won't be able to do this anymore. And that because it takes time. it really does take time and commitment and dedication. And I don't want to disappoint anybody who's expecting a certain number of videos to come out in a month or a week. And I can do what I can do. And so that's the sort of the tension of presence that I feel around this work, is that I enjoy it. It really isn't work, but sometimes it feels like it. And I'm not in it for monetization or fame or fortune of any sort. Uh, and I love all of you very, very much. And so that's really what keeps me doing it as much as I can, is just that connection to all of you, to each of you, and watching your comments and reading them and trying to comment on them when I have a block of time. I can do that, and learning what you're reading. I just love, like, Caitlin and Berna and Sandy and so many of you, Tammy, sharing what you're reading, sharing your love of books. It's just so lovely. And so keep on going, and keep on doing what you do. And I'll try to keep on doing what I do as long as I can. So, all right, guys, happy start of the holiday season. Maybe not officially yet, but we're getting there. And I hope some of these were of interest to you. And as always, happy reading. Bye.